Yes, now ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas Rants YouTube channel. Let's talk my reaction and my opinion and my review, should I say, of Backlash. I made my predictions yesterday, and it's safe to say for the first time in forever that this channel has existed. Not the first time ever, because come on, I'm a bit more intelligent than I get credit for. For the first time in this channel's history, I have got every single prediction correct. This is one of those PLAs where you've just got stories that need ending, you've got stories that need making, and you've got matches that need to happen, and the pure focus and the enjoyment of this PLE is the match quality and entertainment itself. Let's dive into it, let's give it my thoughts. The first match was Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker. I had the prediction of Bron Breakker winning the match, and it seemed obvious. I mean, the vision was designed to build up Bron Breakker, and obviously Bronson Reed and everyone else that came along with it. Seth is in those final years of his career, unfortunately, and we'll get into that in a second, but it would seem stupid to have Seth Rollins just kill Bron Breakker's momentum. Like, this was Bron Breakker's big push, his big win against Seth Rollins, and it was probably meant to happen at Mania, but we're here anyway. Both men just had amazing athleticism in the match. Like, that, you could put them two in the ring any day of the week, and I can guarantee they'd put on a banger, like, genuinely. And this is Seth Rollins we're talking about. This is the unsung hero. This is the actual GOAT. The guy that should have been in the position that Roman Reigns in. Like, he should be the guy we look at from this modern era and go, that is the guy. Because Seth Rollins, he's so perfect as a wrestler. He can play the babyface, he can play the heel, he can play the powerhouse, he can play the high flyer. He's just so good at what he does, and he puts everything into his craft and everything in this match. He did everything to make Bron Breakker look good. Bron Breakker got a lot of offense in this match, and so did Seth. But every bit of every bit of offense that Seth got in on this match was a big power move designed to put Bron Breakker away, and Bron Breakker kept getting up. Bron Breakker just kept trying to beat down Seth Rollins. Every time Seth had something lined up, Bron Breakker would just interrupt it and just take him down again. It showed the levels. It shows that this is the new, fresh, hungry game that has all the potential. And this is Seth, someone who's been there, done that, has all the tricks in the book, but he's not quite at the speed of these younger guys. And it was designed beautifully to put Bron Breakker over, and it was an incredible match, a contender for match of the night, dare I say. There was an involvement with Austin Theory and Logan Paul, but not in the bullshitty way we thought it was. Seth obviously has been a part of the numbers game before. He's been a part of the Shield, the Authority, he's had his Messiahs, he's now obviously had the Vision. He knows how this ambushing game works, and given that he created the Vision, he probably written this rule in the Vision that they were going to get involved. So Seth was prepared with the chair for Logan and Austin Theory to arrive, and he took them out. Obviously it caused a bit of a distraction, but that didn't end that match there. You know, they kept going from there on, and Bron Breakker eventually got the win. What a match it was. Just an incredible match that you can't fault whatsoever. And then the second match along was Trick Williams, Sami Zayn. I think a match no one wanted to see again. It shouldn't have been a singles match at Mania. I've already discussed how Carmelo Hayes was robbed in this situation. But we're here anyway. It needs to end. And it's a good way to promote Trick Williams as a babyface, put him over, keep him active against someone people are tired of. It really just helps push him. And this is another way to develop Sami Zayn's story as a heel, because they've been doing that whole gingerbread thing, and everyone's on Trick's side, and Sami's going mental because Sami didn't know what was wrong with him, and then he finally did something to validate himself and win a title, and no one was backing him because it screwed Carmelo Hayes over, and everyone was excited about Trick Williams, so he took it out on everyone, and now everyone's criticizing him because of it. He's suffering the consequences of him acting out, and he can't accept it all. So he's now transitioned into the heel, and after losing the title at Mania, he was trying to reclaim that title again at Backlash. He got Yachty involved. He did hit Yachty, and then Yachty hit him back with a kendo stick. So there was a couple of distractions here and there, and there was at one point both Yachty and Trick Williams were down. Sami had the opportunity to hit that haluva kick on Trick Williams, but instead decided to take out Yachty because Yachty was getting up to his feet, and that distraction helped Trick Williams regain the title, and it further told the story that Sami Zayn is not in the right headspace that he needs to be. He had the opportunity to capitalise and win that title back, but his anger and him not being focused on what he should be doing has lost him that match. And it's also another good way of promoting the fresh and newer talent, because Trick Williams got the win. Everyone loves Trick Williams, you know what I mean? Like, genuinely, like, even when Lash Legend comes out on SmackDown, they're chatting whoop that Trick for Lash Legend. So obviously Trick Williams was going to win this matchup, and that's who I predicted was going to win. Yeah, just let's move on now, you know. I don't want to drag this out too long. Sammy is obviously now a heel and could go tell a great story out with someone else, or maybe even elsewhere. I'm excited for this Trick Williams United States title run because he's already doing great as he's debuted on the main roster, and as has every other NXT debut in the last few months. But Trick Williams, he's like Obafemi, he's a bit of an anomaly. Like, people are eating that shit up, and as they should. The third match of the card, which was sort of, well, kind of gimmicky match, which again was the first match that opened up on the proper ESPN subscription. Like, it's a bit mental. It was the Danhausen Miz Kit Wilson match. Now, I predicted whoever Danhausen and his partner was going to be was going to win, but didn't know who his partner was going to be though. And I made the prediction that it would be Jelly Roll because that seemed the most obvious option. I did not think they were going to really, I don't want to say drop the ball, but it almost felt like they did. I felt like as WWE fans in recent years, since the Renaissance era, we've kind of been spoiled with surprises and returns and all that sort of stuff. So we all kind of expected something like that. And it kind of is a surprise, but it's not. It's the little mini Danhausens from WrestleMania, except one of them was an actual incredibly talented, trained wrestler. It could have been El Torito under that match, we just don't know. Big comedic match, you know, trying to just get the kids involved, get the entertainment factor, the comedy factor, not take everything seriously. And he cursed the Miz mid-match, and then the Miz, you know, obviously denying the curse. Fire extinguisher didn't work on the Danhausens, but it worked on him. And they eventually picked up the win over Miz and Kit Wilson. I mean, what else did you expect? A bit of a fun match. Danhausen is an incredible character. And they could just write shit for him all the time because it's just everything he does is so amazing, and it doesn't need to be perfect because part of Danhausen's character is when he fucks something up. That's part of the funniness because he's trying to be this very evil, very nice guy. Do you know what I mean? That's why he's called Very Evil, Very Nice, because he's a good guy, but he's just trying to be evil, but he can't be. Like when the lights go out and he's meant to disappear and he waits till they come back on and then runs off. It's part of the character. So if something goes wrong, it's foolproof. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Not really much to talk about in that match, really. It's just for the entertainment factor, but I'm glad I got another prediction right. I'm sad it wasn't Jelly Roll. As a Jelly Roll fan, I'm devastated it wasn't Jelly Roll. But as WWE fans, we're just conditioned to assume that we're going to get some surprise in return, and we should not be that complacent. We should enjoy what we get, as long as it works. Do you know what I mean? Like, as long as it's not completely out there and ruins the match, it's like, that works, because they were there at WrestleMania. They did get involved with Miz and Kit Wilson, and it's kind of part of Danhausen's character now. You know, I'm just hoping it doesn't become a regular because I can see it getting old pretty quick. Sky Asuka, the match I had a problem with so much because we had so many months to make this happen while Kyrie was still in the company, while Io Sky and Asuka did not have WrestleMania matches, and then they've waited till WrestleMania's gone and Kyrie's been fired to then make this match happen. And it's such a shame because the match was so good. And it didn't need to be a rush story because this story started months ago, but now they rushed it right between Mania and Backlash, those 2-3 weeks. And the match was so incredibly good, and I think a lot of people forget what Asuka's capable of because she's not been necessarily in the spotlight. Here and there, yes, finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament, WWE titles and that, but a lot of the time she's just focused on tag team action and putting over other talent. Everyone knows Io's ability, right? And obviously everyone knows Asuka's ability, but it's very easy to forget, especially in an industry where we have loads of people who come and go. This was a reminder of what Asuka's capable of, and especially with someone like Io, where they come from similar backgrounds. Asuka is the mentor of Io Sky. You just know they're going to cook. You just know they're going to have chemistry. And dare I say this is another contender for Match of the Night, but I don't know. Match of the Night is going to be hard for me on this one. And this was an incredible match, and Io got the win. And then Asuka turned face and hugged her and they became friends, and that was it. And a lot of people are saying, is this Asuka retiring? I don't think so. A lot of people saw her crying, just like Brock Lesnar was crying, you know, and she thanked the crowd and she thanked Io, whatever. But I don't think that's what this is, because we'd hear about it. If that was Asuka's last match, we'd hear about it. I do think a lot of people are hung up on the idea of every time someone who's been around for a bit looks emotional or has a big match, that this is going to be their last match, just because in the last year, not even in the last 12 months, we've had Goldberg, John Cena, AJ Styles, Brock Lesnar all retire, and there's talks of Rey Mysterio retiring and Seth on the post show is saying he doesn't have that long left. I think every time now someone who's 40 or over has some certain moment, everyone thinks they're going to retire. And that's just not the case. A lot of people go longer than others, you know. Look at Billy Gunn. The guy is 62 and he's still going. What? Sting went into his 60s. It's mental. Do you know what I mean? Randy Orton's older than half the roster. Well, not older, but he is, you know. And he's still going. Our Truth is probably the oldest member on the roster. He's still going, right? So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I do think this is a transition into babyface, though, because Kyrie's not here anymore. We don't have Kabuki Warriors, so they're pivoting Asuka's character, and I think they're going to go back to a more babyface because of how many heels we probably have on Raw. So babyface Asuka. Or maybe she continues as a heel, but she had to show that respect for a heel. But again, that's another one I got right. I did not say Asuka win this match. I didn't say a reason for Asuka to win this match. So I picked Io Sky, and Io Sky got the win, which is good. Now, before we get into the main event, John Cena came out to do his announcement that he had, right? And it's ironic because John Cena's last match, his final tour, I was so sad I've never got to see John Cena live. And I thought, this is it. That's his last match. I'm never going to see John Cena live. But since his last match, he's already shown up a bunch of times. He's shown up to host WrestleMania. Now he's shown up to Backlash. And we all know he's in charge of Club WWE, right? So it's just like, it's almost like he never retired. Like, you know, I might still get the same live one day. It depends what show I go to. But not the proper John Cena, because when the music hits, he's coming out in a suit. He's not coming out in his gear. He's not running down the ramp. He's walking down the ramp. But yeah, he went on the mic talking about what that last match meant to him, talking about what Tampa meant to him, and crowd was chanting, one more match. Obviously, we'd love to say it, but we know it's not going to happen. And you can see how he was trying to pivot from that, but he expected it, like he said. And here he came for his announcement. Now, I'll be honest, like a lot of people, hearing the news of Club WWE, which again, it's just more bullshit. It's just discounted clothing and early access to tickets and just getting more money out of you, some more corporate bullshit to feed them more money. We all assumed this was going to be some announcement about Club WWE. There's no way anyone thought John Cena was about to announce another match or John Cena was about to announce a WrestleMania date. Nothing that big, right? There has said history changing news. We all just assumed it was something to do with Club WWE, and they were just trying to sell us on it. But no, this was genuinely history changing news because there was a reason John Cena was talking about that last match, and not because he wants to have another one, but because of the event it was. He mentioned how we all tuned into that event to obviously say John Cena, but as a result of that, we got to see Sol Ruka, Obafemi, and Javon Evans all shine under a light they hadn't been under because they were all NXT developmental talent. And that was their crossover exhibition showcase to show the mainstream audience, the casuals, and all the main roster fans what the NXT talent are capable of, and show NXT talent what they're capable of to potentially pull them up to that main roster. And since then, what's happened? So Ruka's debuted on Monday Night Raw, and she's had a thing with Becky Lynch. Javon Evans has debuted, had WrestleMania moments. Obafemi has debuted and destroyed and retired Brock Lesnar as an impact of their work and their talent, but technically as an impact of John Cena putting these other talents onto his show. So he has announced a brand new event with a brand new concept and a brand new title. Genuinely history-changing moves, right? We've had the Mae Young Classic. We've had the Dusty Rhodes Classic. John Cena is now announcing the John Cena Classic, which isn't like the other classics, you know, where it's a tournament. Like, this is completely different. It will be main roster talent versus NXT Evolve or whatever developmental talent going head to head and showcase in a big tournament, right? But it's not about winning or losing. It's about fan votes. The fans get to vote who they like more, right? So that the person could lose the match. It doesn't matter. It's how they've captured your interest. And whoever gets the most votes wins the tournament. And I think that's genius. And this is why John Cena is great for the company. Because John Cena has always said, leave the place better than you found it. And he has been the GOAT for many reasons. Because there was many years that John Cena was in the company from 2002 to about 2020 when he stopped full time. WWE was in its dark ages. It wasn't doing great. And John Cena kept it relevant. Because if John Cena wasn't there during them years, that company could have fell through the roof. John Cena is a genuine GOAT for how he's appealed to new audiences worldwide and of new ages. And now, even when he's done, how he's trying to propel the new talent across, how he had the last time is now tournament and put Gunther over big time, you know. One of John Cena's biggest criticisms during his career was that he never put people over. John Cena's doing nothing but putting over the new and current WWE. And seeing how WWE is going about their stuff since John Cena's left, and especially since after WrestleMania, with out with the old and with the new, really pushing their younger and newer stars, which is working. You can see the impact of John Cena being in a more corporate role in WWE. He's not about money, which we can appreciate. We need someone in WWE who's not about the money. He's about the show because he's a fan first. I think we all know that. You know, he's always said he always watches the modern day product when he's not been around and he's doing movies. He's always watching Monday Night Raw, NXT, and SmackDown to see the new talent, you know, because he cares that much about his business. I believe that wholeheartedly. He is the GOAT for this great reason. And he says it's not just a one-time thing. He's going to try and keep this tournament going on for as long as he can. Make it a yearly, annual thing. I'm here for it. I love it, right? Because we don't have a Dusty Rhodes Classic anymore. We don't have a Mae Young Classic anymore. The Cruiserweight Classic was only a one-time thing. So, let's bring it on. I'm actually, I'm buzzing about that. That's great news. John Cena is a living legend. And how he's not in the Hall of Fame, I don't know. AJ Styles, no disrespect to AJ Styles, a GOAT in wrestling, right? You go in New Japan, a GOAT in TNA, a GOAT in Ring of Honor. And out of all them, WWE might have been his least, I can't even say that's his least run. Like, he done bits in WWE as well. He's a GOAT in WWE as well. It's absolutely deserved of a Hall of Famer. But to think AJ Styles was 10 years in the WWE after already making his name elsewhere, right? This was just like, this was the end of the road. This was like, AJ Styles, like, you had to do this, right? For him to retire and instantly get put into the Hall of Fame. Meanwhile, John Cena, 20-year career of putting WWE on the map, being the absolute face of the company, is still not in the Hall of Fame. Blows my mind, but there's probably reasons for that. But it is what it is. Let's get into the main event. I picked Roman Reigns to retain this title. It seemed obvious. They would not have Jacob Fatu win the title this early, especially when Roman Reigns just won that title. They put the title back on Roman Reigns to be the head of the table, to be the tribal chief once again. Potentially not the 1,300-day reign, but to put Roman Reigns back on top, to give him some seriousness before he retires, but also to give the company back some prestige that they've kind of lost in this last year. So he was never going to lose it in this first defense. But it's cool to get into the Jacob Fatu match because he's had a lot of momentum and he needs a big match like this. And it leads us into a big, massive bloodline story that we all know we're going to soak up. Whether we've had it before, technically, but not fully. There's certain people that haven't had matches, like Roman and Jacob. And there's certain more people, like Zilla Fatu and other people, who need to come in and get involved in this bloodline story. And it's going to be great. And I think eventually, by the end of it, this is probably a lead-up to The Rock versus Roman. Right? You can't tell me that might not be happening still, because they wanted it WrestleMania 40, and they didn't get it because the fans wanted Roman Cody, and then we end up getting one of the best main events of all time, if not the best main event of all time. Rock versus Roman might just be happening next year at Mania. Think about it. Saudi Arabia. I'm just saying. But as predicted, Roman retained the title. Very good match. You know, again, showed the story of like Jacob's quicker and stronger than the older talent, which is Roman, who is the champion. But Roman knows how to capitalize, because when the moments matter, Roman was there with the Superman punch, with a spear. You know, it's IQ versus, well, youth, you know, and Jacob's not young, but he's the younger talent, you know. And Jacob really tried for that title, he really did. And it was thanks to the brains of Roman that he was able to retain against Jacob, because Jacob kept hitting that tongue and death grip. And Roman eventually pulled a turnbuckle off, slammed Jacob into it, and then speared him and pinned him. And even after Reigns had pinned Jacob Fatu, Jacob was still the first one up. And then he started attacking Roman after the match because of it. Because he couldn't stand losing, because he needed that title that badly, you know. Because Jacob was the one that Roman didn't invite into WWE. And Jacob always knew he was ready, but he was underestimated by the rest of the family. So this was him showing Roman what he's capable of. And the fact that he didn't win the title and he's not done that thing for his family that he said he was going to do, it's going to anger him. So he kept attacking Roman Reigns after with the tongue and death grip. Officials all tried to pull him off, and nothing worked. He did it again and again. There was no sight of the Usos, no sight of any of that bloodline member, so there was no surprises. I kind of thought that was going to happen, but it didn't. And then eventually made his way out there, and Roman, you know, got on the microphone and was like, this is why you were never invited in WWE, this is why you shouldn't have been here, type stuff. So this feud isn't done, which is great, because it would suck to be a one and done in 2 week time period. But let's just get more bloodline involved. Let's get Solo involved. Let's bring Zilla Fatu and let's make this big, massive bloodline. I don't care if it's 20, 30 people that are all feuding at once. Let's make it happen, man. Like, we're so blessed to have such a royal family in wrestling. Like, the McMahons ain't the royal family in wrestling. I hate to tell you. It ain't the McMahons. It ain't the Rhodes. It ain't nothing, right? It is the bloodline. The bloodline's the royal family in wrestling. And we're so lucky to have that many active wrestlers that are from one family that could tell an absolutely amazing story. Because Roman's not got long left. If Seth doesn't have long left, bear in mind he's active and he's agile, Roman's not got long left either. Do you know what I mean? Roman's older than Seth, I'm pretty sure. So eventually, by the end of this potential 2-year feud, if it carries on that long, Roman could pass the torch on to someone else in his family, maybe even Solo, because Solo's probably got loads of years left in him, you know, and he's got all the potential in the world. He's just not there yet. But what do I know? You know, what do I know? Only got 5 out of 5 predicted right, but I'm pretty sure everyone did. This was the most predictable pay-per-view of all time. We all knew what was going to happen. There was no shocks or surprises. It was all about match quality. And you know what? This Backlash absolutely did have match quality. And it's hard to pick match of the night. Normally I do match of the night. Hard to pick. I know it's not Danhausen and Miz and Nicholls, and I know it's not Trick and Sammy. But the rest of them were good for many, many different reasons. Seth and Braun really started off the show the way it should have been. The counters, the moments, the movesets, you know. Io and Kyrie had the chemistry of a lifetime. Like, they should not be putting on that good of a banger, and they did. Roman and Jacob had all the wow moments, didn't it? You know, I think I might have to go with Seth and Braun though. You know, it's hard, but I think I might have to go with Seth and Braun, because just what a match. Even though they had botches, what a match. Unbeaten. But that's my opinion. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.